If your child's about to open up their GCSE results, you're probably feeling a very specific type of dread, and honestly, you have the right to. The UK education system changes its mind about as often as a teenager changes their outfits, and trying to negotiate colleges, sixth forms, and funding opportunities is a bit like trying to defuse a bomb in the dark. In this video, we're going to go through the timeline of results day. We're going to be looking at the secret weapon you can use to challenge a bad grade for free. We're going to be looking at the massive legal trap surrounding England and maths in England. And we're going to be looking at the 3 distinct pathways available to your child next. I know. Results day isn't until August 20th, but there's no such thing as being too prepared. So we're going to skip all the educational jargon and patronizing advice, and we're just going to focus on what's important, because whether your child is expecting straight 9s or you're secretly panicking that they failed everything, there are a few hidden rules and legal traps that schools and colleges don't tell you until it's too late. By the end of this guide, you will know what to do, whatever is written on that piece of paper. First, let's talk logistics, because a high anxiety situation severely affects your teenager's ability to think rationally. If they open the envelope and it's bad news, their brain will go into fight or flight mode. They won't be able to make a critical, logical decision. So you're going to have to act as executive function for you and for them. The night before results day, your only job is distraction. Don't waste time on what ifs or get into conversations about worst case scenarios. Plan a movie night. Order a takeaway. Do whatever you can do to prevent them from worrying, panicking, doom scrolling TikTok while they still can on their phones looking at everyone else's predicted grades. Then, on the morning of results day, you need to have your war room document ready. Don't just turn up to the school empty-handed. Before you leave the house, write down the phone number for the admissions team at their chosen college or sixth form, their candidate number and UCI number, you can get these from school, a backup college option, and their enrollment hotline number. Trust me, if you have to phone an admissions hotline at 10 AM, the last thing you want is to be scrambling on Google for the phone number when everyone else is already calling, meaning that you're stuck 78th in the queue. Okay, let's look at the first hurdle. You open up the envelope and you both realize that your child has missed their required grade by 1 or 2 marks. So immediately your thought goes to, how can we fix this? I know what we'll do. We'll send the paper back to the exam board, AQA, NXL, OCR, what have you. We'll send it back. We'll pay for it to be regraded. But don't do this. Absolutely stop. Do not do this. Because if you send your paper back, yes, there is a chance that your child could get those extra couple of grades. Brilliant. They're in. There is a chance your grade could stay the exact same. Maybe the paper was marked properly. The majority of them are. There is also a chance that you pay your money, you send the paper back, and your child's grade goes down even further, possibly closing those doors to their desired college or sixth form permanently. So don't do that. Instead, you take a deep breath and you remember that every guardian and every child has a statutory right to their exam script the second those results have been published. It's called access to scripts. It's easy to remember. You are allowed, and your child is allowed, to get a digital copy of their exam script. You take that digital copy with your very calm demeanor to your child's school, to their teachers, and you say, look, we're off by a couple of points. Would you mind going through this paper with the official mark scheme and just checking that there isn't something that's been missed or misinterpreted? You could even do it yourself because the mark schemes are available online. You just Google them. However, it's probably best if a qualified professional looks through this for you. But again, at all times, calm, reasonable, outcome focused. The TLDR of this one is don't go throwing your money at the exam boards demanding a recount, because even though 30% of all graded scripts come back with some sort of error, they might be too high. They might be too low. You take a breath and you calmly go to the school. But what if you've done all that and your child's results are what they are? Well, it's not the end of the world. You see, the way these things are structured, the result requirements have a bit of wiggle room with most places. You have to remember that students are fickle beasts. Some will drop out. Some will have to move away. Some, for whatever reason, won't be able to take up the place they have been offered. So if your child is a couple marks shy, maybe they're just 1 grade under, it is worth going along and explaining the situation. And some, not all, but some might, like I say, have that wiggle room. There might be a case of, let's say you're trying to do biology at college. Well, the college might say, look, they almost got it, maybe they fumbled in the exam. If they're willing to take a bit of a catch-up course, we'll take them on. Some might say, oh, we'll give them a one-term trial and see how they do. See if they've got the stuff, if they've got the moxie. It's surprising just how many educational places will accept a lesser grade than they originally requested. Again, I'm not saying this is all of them, and if your child's grades are much lower than expected, then it's a different story. But if they've missed it by just a hair's breadth, the colleges, the sixth forms, they want to see someone who genuinely has an interest and wants to be there. But what happens if your child hasn't missed it by just a hair's breadth? What happens if they missed it by quite a lot? Let's go back over to the office. So now we come to talk about the biggest legal trap in the UK, which is grade 4 English and maths. If your child hits that grade 3 level, then your child has no wiggle room at all. They absolutely must sit through a whole year of study leading up to a resit of that particular GCSE. And the government have recently tightened the screw on this, mandating that educational institutes must dedicate at least 100 teaching hours to the build-up of resitting said GCSEs. It's a pretty heavy workload on top of anything else they would be studying. But here's a loophole for students who got grade 2 or below. If the thought of sitting through another highly academic GCSE year is enough to make your child queasy, then they don't have to do it. If they got grade 2 or lower, they can request what's called a functional skills test instead. Functional skills are based purely on everyday applications of maths and English. Things like working out percentages for a bank account or basic arithmetic for handling money and time. And English, things like writing a professional email, writing to communicate, that sort of thing. That pathway is totally open to them, but again, only if they got a grade 2 or lower. It's a much more achievable pathway that will hopefully build their confidence back rather than pushing them to breaking point. Once the core subjects are sorted, it's time for them to choose their actual path. And if you haven't looked at the education system since you were in school, hold on to your seats because things have changed. The boundary between academic and vocational has been totally disrupted, and this is great news for our kids. Let's break down the 3 paths clearly. Path number 1, A-levels. These remain the dominant academic route for students intending to go to university. This is the path of rigorous independent study and a high degree of theoretical comprehension. If your child thrives on heavy reading and high-stakes written exams, this is where they belong. Path 2, T-levels. Introduced as a groundbreaking alternative, T-levels represent a paradigm shift. They're designed in direct collaboration with industry employers. Do not underestimate the workload here. A single T-level is structurally equivalent to 3 A-levels. Students spend 80% of their time in a classroom environment acquiring theoretical knowledge, and the remaining 20% participating in a mandatory, in-depth industry placement. They're tailored for students who require a synthesis of academic rigor and practical application. A quick warning on T-levels. The government is currently phasing out a lot of the old BTEC qualifications to force students onto this new framework. Make sure you ask the college exactly how much of the course is exam-based, because T-levels have a much higher academic load than the old BTECs did. Path 3, apprenticeships. For students desiring immediate entry into the workforce alongside educational progression, this is an optimal synthesis. These are legally recognized paid employment contracts combining on-the-job training with formal off-the-job study. Your child gets a salary, workplace experience, and a qualification simultaneously. Now let's look at the absolute worst case scenario. What if you open that envelope and it's a total disaster? Less than grade 3s across the board. As a parent, your heart is going to sink, and your teen is going to feel like an absolute failure. In that exact moment, your role shifts from parent to ultimate advocate. Don't panic, and don't waste time being punitive or angry. The educational framework actually has pretty robust safety nets designed explicitly to rebuild these kids from scratch. Option 1, the T-level foundation year. This is an incredible 1-year preparatory course. It acts as a stepping stone. If they didn't get the grades for a full course, this year diagnoses their learning gaps, provides intensive English and math support, and gives them the skills to step up to a full level 3 qualification the next year. Option 2, supported internships. If your child has an active EHCP, entry requirements do not matter. They can access a supported internship where a dedicated professional job coach goes into the workplace with them, providing continuous pastoral care while they learn a trade. Option 3, local youth hubs. If your teen is dealing with severe school refusal, chronic anxiety, or total academic burnout, forcing them into a massive college campus on September the 1st might fail. Look up your local youth hub. These are community-embedded spaces that combine mental health support, basic skills training, and employment coaching without the terrifying pressure of a traditional school environment. Look, here's the honest truth, parent to parent. Results day isn't for a while. You've got time to prepare, you've got time to calm yourself. And I know you will, because you can do this. You're awesome.